Hey guys, it's Gideon. I wanted to make one more quick video covering the fighter in Alpha 2 Phase 1. We're just days away from Phase 2, so kind of going through a handful of classes, Cleric, the Mage, now the Fighter, that I played a little bit more than the others that I tried. So this is definitely not a class guide or a full review, it's just a first impressions. I didn't play anything till level 25, but I did play a number of classes till like 10 to 15. So, that said, if you haven't seen either of the other two videos, just a quick note on combat and movement in general. Combat and movement feel really fluid, really good. It's the closest thing to the responsiveness of classic World of Warcraft that I've experienced in a modern game. I'm not feeling input lag or latency, or I hit the ability and then it happens. Everything feels like it happens right away. So great job with the foundation. But beyond that, pretty much anything I played, the abilities right from the get-go, they feel impactful. There's interesting choices. So with that said, getting into the fighter a little bit here. So with the fighter, you start out with kind of a basic attack and a basic form that you can think of it as like a stance in other games. I'm not going to go into super ton of detail on specific abilities per se, but more of just kind of like the experience of playing it. So with a small toolkit early on, what I ended up finding fun is the ability to charge into combat. Charge in this instance is blitz. I almost said bliss. Maybe it is bliss. But like charging in, hitting an enemy with a single target ability, and then the whirlwind effect, super fun. Whirlwinding, even if maybe I'm playing it wrong, but I was just in there to test and have fun, right? Whirlwinding an enemy down. I even there was like a talent option where you build up a class resource around your portrait. This is the invisible portrait that you can't see. There's an ability or a talent where when you're whirlwinding, you use up, this combat momentum. Okay. So when you're whirlwinding, you keep going and you use up that class resource. So that was really kind of fun. You feel like you get some extra oomph out of it. And then the execute ability, which is called lethal blow. So that was kind of the bread and butter of my experience in toolkit. It just felt really, really good to charge in, slash cleave enemies, whirlwind them down, and then use an execute type ability, that lethal blow ability. Another ability that was a lot of fun early on was maim, which you might have seen it in some of the showcases, but you leap kind of up in the air and kind of overhand slam down and do like a cone of damage. Sometimes like cone AoE effects aren't as fun, but this felt pretty meaty and impactful. So that was, I wove that into my rotation as well. So once again, very early on, but it felt really good to play and it felt really fun. I could see, up close and personal melee that isn't a tank being more challenging, especially in large scale PvP, but at least early game, just kind of grinding mobs and stuff like that, it did feel like a lot of fun. Now, I was fortunate enough to jump into the stress test that they did for a short amount of time where you got to ask a GM to boost you to level 25. So I did play around with the whole toolkit, but I didn't level there myself. So I don't want to talk too much about all the other talents, because I find in games when you're drip fed abilities and talent points and make those decisions and then you're using them for hours on end, that's when you really learn the interplay and you start to form opinions. I will say higher up in the tree, there was a cataclysm ability, which was like a bigger, beefier version of the maim ability that I was talking about, where it's like you kind of wind up and slam down and do damage in an area in front of you. That was really fun too. So not super in depth here, but once again, just wanted to share kind of like how did it feel. Maybe you were on the fence, right? So if you were on the fence, phase 2 starts, jump in and play it, try it out. this phase is going to last a little bit longer. So maybe if this isn't going to be your main, push to 25, do whatever you're going to do with your guild, and then go try this as an alt. I think it's worth it. I think it's fun. You know, I don't think you'll regret it. Yeah, definitely share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to have a discussion with you guys about this. I think that's everything that I wanted to say for the most part about the fighter. It's not something that I'm going to main. It's something that I might, you know, consider creating as like a third character. Cleric, I intend to be my main. Mage, strong contender, probably like a main alt if I have time for something like that. But the fighter is a lot of fun. So, yeah, I'll stop rambling, and maybe I'll keep the footage going if I have more than how long I'm talking. But until the next video, peace.